Welcome in everybody to another edition of Friday Night Review. I am Scalz, and tonight it's myself and the OG Cam G. How we doing tonight?
Man, pretty good. Coming off of a decent decent Friday Night Smackdown. Ready to talk about it. You know, had a big closing with Roman Reigns coming back. So yeah,
Had a big closing with Roman Reigns. We had a great open with Cody. It's a lot of stuff going on throughout the night. Multiple matches that were phenomenal. Just great way to start the show. So let's get into it. We're going to start off with Cody Rhodes. You're muted, Shadow. You're muted.
Sure.
Y'all can't have a show without me. What's going on, boys?
Okay, I didn't see that coming, but all right.
Yeah.
That was the point. Figure, shock factor and all. It'd be good. But yeah. So as I was saying, let's talk about the opening segment with Cody Rhodes. What do we think about what happened tonight here with this? With him being confronted by the bloodline and then KO.
I'm really liking where Cody Rhodes' like promos are going as of late. I think he had a great promo last week as well. I said this before, I think a fired up Cody Rhodes is better than just a Cody Rhodes who's in between like a one-off kind of feud. So I'm definitely liking the direction they're going in. And if they keep this presentation of Cody Rhodes specifically on the mic, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for his character, and I think it's a good thing going forward. As far as who his next opponent is, who is going to be Kevin Owens, I don't know if I really like that or not, just because of the fact that I think most of us should know that it's pretty predictable that Kevin Owens is probably not going to win that match, and I do think he is deserving of being able to hold a world championship again. He hasn't held a world title in 7 years or something crazy like that since losing a freaking Goldberg. So yeah, he's the most deserving person I think on that roster to win that championship. Now, quite frankly, I honestly would not mind seeing a heel Kevin Owens again, because I think heel Kevin Owens. We saw probably some of his best stuff as a heel. We got him versus AJ Styles at one point. That was a great feud for when they were feuding over the United States Championship. And we got him and Seth Rollins a long time ago. That was also a good feud as well. So some of his best stuff, I think, is, him being a heel. He's a good, baby face as well. But I think his better stuff came out of when he was a heel. And I think he is in need of a fresh start, from, battling the bloodline for 30 freaking years now, it seems like. But yeah, so I that's who I want to win ultimately between the two of them, but I just don't see it happening. So I'm on the fence about that being his next opponent.
I actually kind of like it being the next opponent because it's going to get us to the heel Kevin that we desperately need again. He's been a face for too long. You saw the tease tonight with the chair. They almost reminisced of what happened with Seth Rollins in the Shield. Like, it was very close to having that feeling that he was going to turn on him tonight. And I think he was caught off guard by what Cody said. And that's why he's like, I don't deserve it. It's not my time for this. There's other people. But when they went into the back and he had the meeting with Nick Aldis, you could see there was a different side of him, because he's like, but he doesn't deserve it either. There's a lot more people that do. And that's what made it seem like he actually does deserve this title shot. Shadow?
I mean, I enjoyed the whole back and forth between, I don't want it and all that. Like, there's a lot of people on the IWC right now that don't understand the story. I'm kind of there with them, ironically. It doesn't make a lot of sense other than to turn Kevin heel. because he's been on a 2.5-year run as a face right now, give or take.
About that. Yep.
I mean, not that his baby work is stale by any means, but why is Kevin jumping the line over some talents that could arguably be in the title picture right now?
Like who?
I don't know. We could do Solo again, just because of the story there, and have Roman keep fucking with him. You could do Randy, which I feel like is going to happen down the road, but Randy's challenging for the heavyweight.
That's the thing right there.
I know.
I could see it being Randy. That could be the next one after him.
They should have went with Randy for this one, because there's more of a chance of a believable factor that Randy's going to beat Cody than there is Randy beating Gunther. If you're trying to suspend belief, that's where you're going with it.
I could actually see Randy beating Gunther.
I'm not saying
in Berlin because they lose
that belief.
in their
That's what you have to do.
hometowns. No, I get it. What's going on now? How we doing tonight, Jax? Swagum telling Sean yuck because he was acknowledging Solo before. I don't think he's absolutely going to stop Randy. Randy never lost to him. That's where the thing lies. Like, he didn't lose in that match. His shoulders weren't down when that 3 count happened. So we don't know what's going to happen the next time they face off in the ring. Hopefully it'll be something good. I think right now with Gunther, you don't need to give him a long title reign on this. I think you can have him lose the belt in his first title defense, and it would not hurt him at all. Because then when he goes to get it back, he can be pissed off because, I underestimated Randy. I thought I was already on top. I'm the greatest champion because of my previous title reigns. I've only had 1 loss on the main roster. Now all of a sudden he beat me. He's going to come out like a bat out of hell and just in his next match trying to get the belt back. What if he squashes Randy in the next match and just dominates him? That'll be more of putting him over more than anything else. But the opening segment was great tonight, and then from there we went into the first tag match for the number 1 contendership tournament between Street Profits and A-Town Down Under. Mike's over here thinking it's 10 a.m. instead of 10 p.m. How are we doing tonight, Mike? Appreciate you coming in. But, yeah. What do we think about this match?
Talking about the tag team match, right?
Yes.
I mean, ultimately, the match was the match. It was pretty decent. I can appreciate the fact that they're highlighting the tag team division once again. It's very important to do so. Once again, last week, if I may throw it back to last week, it's, to me, I guess it was sort of shocking to see that DIY drop the tag team title so soon. But I think it only adds to the storyline for the bloodline, because I think potentially you could get the Usos to come back from this. And then, of course, Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga will then be faced with, the challenge of the Usos coming back and challenging for the tag team titles. Or you could have DIY and their whole redemption story that they're going with right now come back and try to get the tag team titles back as well. So for me, like I said, again, I like the fact that they're highlighting the tag team division right now. I believe they're kind of, and I might be jumping ahead here, but I think they're kind of backing themselves kind of into a corner, because now you have the Street Profits, who I think are kind of on a kind of like a restart almost. And because that's what I kind of feel like. I feel like they're kind of just starting back with the basics with the Street Profits now that Bobby Lashley potentially is not coming back with the group. So you have them on a restart of sorts. And then, of course, now you have DIY who's trying to get like their redemption or their road back to their tag team title. So it's like, who needs to win more when they eventually face each other? I don't know. I would say probably the Street Profits, just because DIY was just tag team champions anyway. and I think Street Profits definitely need to stay in the limelight or be given something to kind of stay in the spotlight. A lot of people were putting Triple H under a lot of scrutiny because, oh yeah, he's not booking the Street Profits anymore. They were tag team champions at one point. Now they're just jobbers, blah, blah, blah. I disagree with all that. But now I think Triple H heard that scrutiny that he was getting, and he's highlighting the Street Profits. He highlighted them in the gauntlet, 2 weeks ago. And then, tonight, them winning No More Contendership. So yeah, I don't know, but I just don't know who wins or who needs to win more out of DIY and Street Profits.
Well, what about DIY? Why? But sorry. What about DIY's name still on the belts with their nameplates, the side plates?
Their side plates? I didn't even notice that.
Still said DIY on the side plates.
Interesting.
Do we think
I don't know.
Just a temporary belt for the bloodline?
I mean, it could be either that or their side plates are just not ready. I don't know.
Which means that it was not planned that they were going to win last week. Maybe. That was a change from there. Or it could mean that Jacob Fatu is actually hurt and they're going to end up losing the belt because it's not the belts were planned more for him than Tongaloa. So, what'd you think of this? Did you watch this match, Shadow, or no?
Yeah, I mean, I like that B-Fab came out and hyped him up a bit. It's good to see her on TV, of course. I thought it was a good back and forth match for the most part, as much as I still don't understand why Grayson and Theory are there after being traded. Like, what?
I don't know. That was very confusing because it didn't seem like it was now a trade. It's like we sent you there for Monday. So I don't know what's going on with that. And thank you to Swagums for the sub. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense to me, and like, whatever. But for the most part, I love once Dawkins actually got Ford into the matchup after Ford hit the barricade and stuff like that. But I really thought that they showed a fury of offense there. Yeah, I'm really struggling with this to come with words, but I don't like the finisher name. Blockbuster should be called Block Party. They're the Street Profits. Like, let's be real here.
I mean, that actually does sound better than Blockbuster.
I mean, come away, the Street Profits win, and like Cam alluded to, they're going against DIY next. Like, where are we going with this?
I don't know. Does DIY get the title shot again, or do we see a new contender who hasn't had the belts in more than 3 years?
I think if you're smart, you go with the Profits.
They'll give that a little bit different challenge to the bloodline. They're not used to wrestling against them, so they might not be ready for it. So I could see them doing that. That actually would not be a bad idea.
Plus, if Fatu is hurt and you're gonna have God versus Street Profits, it's gonna be a banger.
Yeah, it's weird. It's actually gonna be weird to see them in the ring together.
Why is he still wearing the eye patch? I'm so confused.
For those of you that doesn't know what GOD is, it's Gorillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga and Tongaloa.
Yeah. So for all you IWC members that think they know everything, but apparently don't.
I don't know. Were we ever told why he was wearing the eye patch?
No, he just looks like a Bond character for no reason.
They said he got hurt. They said he injured his eye.
Is it like Rey Mysterio popping out an eye? Like I don't get it.
I don't know. I think it might have been like an off-camera thing. I have no idea, but I just call him Patchy the Pirate. It looks like.
I'd make a joke, but I should probably leave that alone.
Yes, please do. I love the backstage segment between Aldis, KO, and Rhodes, like I alluded to before. I love that Cody and Nick Aldis kind of manipulated KO to accept the offer by saying that they were going to give it to Roman, kind of threw it in his face about that. Yeah. Shadow.
Kim.
But yeah, I like how they kind of manipulated him in order to agree with it. I thought that was pretty ingenious of them.
Yeah, like I said, basically, convincing him that he deserves a championship. So,
and then throwing it in their face that he still hasn't got his rematch from when Goldberg beat him.
love it. Like I said, he makes a compelling argument. You know what I mean? I just alluded to that. He hasn't had a championship in over 5 years. So that's insane to me. So I do, like I said, once again, I believe he's the most deserving on the roster to be able to hold a world championship at least one more time before he's completely done with wrestling. But it's just a tough spot because I just don't unless they turn Kevin heel, which they definitely should. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna happen. It'll probably be a slow burn to where it'll happen right before the pay-per-view. So I could see the night before. That's when you're actually gonna see the heel turn, and then it's gonna change the complexion of the match the following day, which is gonna be amazing. Jack's calling Sean out. God is one person. God is a tag team. Okay. After that, they said we're going to see Nia Jax on our screens next. But when we get back, we have Miss Money in the Bank, Tiffany Stratton, in the back, who gets, when she's yelling at people about the decorations for Nia Jax's party. And then she gets interrupted by Pretty Deadly. She wants nothing to do with their Pretty Deadly the musical, so she brushes them off. And then she has a backstage segment with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. And this was amazing between the three of them. Chelsea and Tiffany can work so well together.
Forgot one part in there, though. Before they went to Chelsea, they were with Aldis, Owens, and Rhodes.
That's what we just talked about with the Aldis segment.
Oh, my bad. I spaced out for a second. My bad, guys. I apologize.
That's all right. But
sorry.
Tiffany Stratton and Chelsea Green going back and forth was hilarious. Chelsea Green cracking on her, Tiffany going back at her, and then Tiffany getting the last one in before she swipes her hair at her and walks away, leaving Chelsea Green disgusted. Do we see them?
Go ahead.
Do we see them fight for the briefcase eventually?
Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think about that. I mean, potentially, I guess. I could see
those were the two that I thought would have won it. Like those were my two picks to see who would win the briefcase.
I mean, honestly, if that were to happen, I could see Chelsea Green winning via Nia Jax interference, and then her complaining about that she lost unfairly, and then I could see her just being fed up with everything with Nick Aldis and everything, and then her just like making her own briefcase and just be like, "Well, I'm the true winner because I never technically lost or whatever." That would just fit her character.
If I'm Chelsea in that situation, I go, "Oh, I was in a hazardous workplace being thrown off the ladder. This is not how things go.
I was in an unsafe work environment." Yeah, there you go. Fits her character. But no, what I was going to say though was I think the one thing I took from that segment was I almost fell out of my chair laughing when Tiffany Stratton said, "Don't you have a ladder to fall off of?" I lost it when she said that.
And Chelsea was like, what? You really said that? Like, she was caught off guard by it too. It was great. All right, no worries, Shadow. We're here. We can still hear you. So
just to clarify, I'm not off camera on purpose. My computer driver is being stupid and it keeps turning off, so I'm working on that as we speak.
After that, they officially announced the match between KO and Cody Rhodes for Bash of Berlin, and we get a fire graphic of it. I'm loving these graphics for Bash of Berlin. I just think it's unique, it's different, and makes me look forward to the PLE a little bit more.
Oh, 1 p.m. PLE. I'm not sure I want to have that right now.
Well, we don't always need to watch it at that time. We could always watch it later and cover it after.
No, because I'm an idiot and go on Twitter and stuff. So no, I'll watch it when it's live.
After that, we had Jade Cargill versus Alba Fire. Yeah, I was surprised this was like almost a squash match. It made Jade look really strong, and they made the tag champ look weak. I'm not here for that.
I mean, honestly, I'm just kind of over the Cargill Belair tag team as a whole.
I'm over the
Either have Belair turn on Cargill or Cargill turn on Belair. I'm just kind of over it at this point. that's the real feud. That's the real match we're waiting on, right? That's what we've been waiting on, Cargill and Belair. So the tag team is just kind of stale at this point.
I mean, listen, I sat and watched this entire episode of SmackDown with my 11-year-old son, and even he didn't understand why this match was on the card.
That's a problem.
I mean, it's really to set up a 6-woman tag match at Bash of Berlin,
right?
Which is essentially what they did, because then you had Blair Davenport come out, and then you had a returning Naomi who was gone for a week come out and make the save, and then you got the 3-on-3. So
speaking of Naomi, I think I found something higher than the IWC. Her hair tonight.
That's pretty good.
Somebody posted on Twitter, I think it was, I don't even know who the person was, but it was like the same outfit. She wore it as one like a famous singer, one of the singers. I don't know who it was.
My problem with like Cam, I'm kind of over Super Cena and Storm from X-Men on my screen all the time. Like, it's getting to the point where put up, shut up, square up, let's go. We need to see it now. Like, why are we doing this whole circling the drain act with them?
Because they want that match to be at Mania. That's
okay,
why.
But that's like 17. That's 17 months from now.
I know.
Not really, but like it's a long time.
That's the issue.
There's not enough story for them to carry a 9-month story.
That's the issue with it, is that there's too much time between now and then, and they started this too soon. That's where they messed up with this. Like, I know they wanted Jade on their screen, but Jade's not good enough to be a single star yet.
And keeping Naomi in here, you're hurting her. She came back, and it's still the same booking. You're not elevating her any differently than she was before she left. She went other places and dominated, and she shows she can do it. She came back on goodwill, and they're just shitting on her again.
Well, I don't want to say they're shitting on her, but she's not being treated as good as she should be. She has
she's still getting better highlight packages than Mercedes Moné, so
I'm not even going to talk about her. I'm going to skip right over that. Anything else about this before we move on to the next segment?
No, I'm good on this subject.
Next, we get an advertisement for NXT. They're promoting the first 2 shows on CW, where they're going to be going live. The first one will be in Chicago with CM Punk on it, and the second one will be in St. Louis with Randy Orton appearing. So those 2 should be good shows. Excited to see what NXT does once they're on the CW. Next, we had LA Knight come out.
Well, before we talk about LA Knight, I got a question for you too, because this has been a topic around the IWC all day, and for the latter part of the last couple days. Ricky Stark's contract is coming up. Where do you guys feel? Is he coming? Is he coming over? Because
yes, 100%.
Cam, you're the resident AEW guy here. What's your thoughts on this?
He's gone. He's good. He's been as good as gone for weeks and months now. As long as he's been off television, he's been as good as gone. Yeah.
All right. So again, I'm going to throw this question to you, Cam, as well, because this is another topic that's being discussed currently around us right now, and I didn't get a chance to say it on the Boom the other night. Shout out to the Boom. The Lucha Bros. They're coming to some WWE. It sounds like everything is all but done. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think they're going to be utilized, or going to be an LWO member?
No,
they're not.
I personally, I mean, that's, I don't agree with that one, Scalz, but I don't really think they're going to be utilized properly. I think they're going to come in, be a big deal for maybe a month, maybe, and then
Well,
they're just
I'm
going to be
seeing some
they're just going to be
trademark
forgotten
things going
about.
around that they trademarked today. Some Fuego
Yeah, I did.
stuff.
I saw that too. They trademarked a bunch of stuff. Yeah, so
King Fuego and Rey Fuego.
Right, but it's King Fuego and literally translate to king. So you're gonna have two King Fuegos.
no idea.
I think if they come to WWE, I think when SmackDown moves to USA, we might see it as a 3-hour show on Friday nights. And I think that's going to be a show where they're going to build up the tag division. And I think that's why they're going to be bringing them in.
So what I'm hearing, what show is on Fridays again for AEW?
Rampage.
So what I'm hearing is the Lucha Bros are constantly going to be slotted in that hour against AEW.
No. No. If they did, AEW would get annihilated. Nobody watches Rampage.
The whole rumor with AEW right now is when they get their new TV deal, Rampage is going to go away.
Collision.
They're going to make Collision is going to be a 2-hour show on Saturday nights, and it's going to lead into that new show that they just came out with, Hyperdrive or Overdrive or something, that has the AEW wrestlers talking about
you just
crazy
got the
stunts.
off guard. What the fuck?
And then Dynamite's supposed to be going to a 3-hour show on Wednesdays, and that's where they're going to move the hour from Rampage into Dynamite.
I fucking hate my computer.
So that's like, they're not going to lose that hour from Rampage and just get rid of it. They're going to move it into Dynamite. Like, that's why they were testing it those weeks when Rampage wasn't on Fridays, and they put it right after Dynamite to see how that's going to go in regards to a flow, if it can keep the attention of people. And it'll get a better rating on Wednesday night than it would on Fridays, especially if SmackDown goes 3 hours. If SmackDown goes 3 hours, no one will watch AEW on Fridays.
No.
It'll get less than it got last week, and that was their worst viewing ever. So that's my feeling on what's going to happen, is that WWE wants to build up the tag division, and you can start to see a focus on that lately in the last few weeks as well. You had the gauntlet match. You have these 2 matches tonight. You had the tag match last week. So, like, I just think they're trying to make it more of a focus on it. And the AEW's tag division right now is nearly non-existent. Between that and the trios, there's like, has the Young Bucks even defended the title yet in this title reign?
I don't think so. No.
Listen, I'm going to say this.
Exactly.
I'm going to say this, and I mean this in the most respectful way possible. Tag team wrestling across every company right now is complete garbage, and it needs a revive somewhere.
And I think that's what WWE might be trying to do.
I don't know.
But let's get back on track. We're going to talk about our new United States champion, Mr. L.A. Knight. Yeah. What do we think of his new remix music tonight?
I didn't pay attention.
Started off similar. He got a new Titantron, and he had a little remix music that was not done by Def Rebel. It was done by a group called Letdown.
Well, they didn't let us down, I'll tell you that.
I mean, that's good for them. They're stepping out of their comfort zone with Def Rebel. Because Def Rebel is.
I'm really wondering if Def Rebel is just really actually deaf.
But great promo by LA Knight. Him and Santos went back and forth. Went back and forth. Had a good little thing. I don't like the Escobar. No, dumb, stupid. And then he started doing it after he won the match against Andrade as well. Like, it's no. But this match tonight between Andrade and Escobar, top notch. Like, I was surprised that they put this match on a SmackDown and not on a pay-per-view. That's how good this match was tonight.
I mean, I could honestly see them feuding again down the line. I could see this feud being over the United States title. down the line somewhere. But yeah, no, as you said, like I said, great match between the two of them. I'm kind of glad that Andrade did not win this match, just because obviously I don't think. Well, it's pretty apparent that the feud between him and Carmelo Hayes is not done yet, and I think that's still a good starting point for Andrade and Carmelo Hayes for that matter. But I just don't think that because I think Andrade had like announced that he was going after the United States Championship, like on the I think the WWE YouTube page or whatever. They had like a whole interview with him, and he said he's going to go after the United States title. And I just kind of felt like it was a little bit too soon for Andrade. I think it's a good starting point. It's good that they're putting him in that conversation. But I don't think, especially with LA Knight just winning the championship, I just don't think it's time for Andrade to be put in that position just yet. So I'm kind of glad that they went with Santos Escobar, and it makes sense too because Santos and LA Knight had already had a feud starting even before this match that he had with Logan Paul at SummerSlam, and him winning the championship. So overall, I think this is going to be a good match between Santos and LA Knight.
And I do like that. Oh, sorry, Shadow.
I mean, you're not wrong, but insider in the arena tonight, Jamie Rose stated that the crowd just was not giving a shit about Santos. He was in arena, right? So I mean, I'm going to trust that word over what we heard on our televisions.
Here's the thing with that. Andrade gets no pop when he comes out, but the minute he's in that ring, the fans are behind him 110%. And you could see that tonight in the match, how he was getting all of everything, and then Santos was just nothing.
Right. I mean, I'm okay with it. Like, they're both luchas, and I respect everything they've done in respective companies that they've gotten to this point. I'm more behind Andrade because I like his style more than I like Santos, even though Santos is a pain off the top, like we have that video that proves that. But to me, I don't care to see this match on my television. I want to see Andrade. I could care less about Santos right now until he drops the pretty boys in the back behind him.
I don't know. I like Legato.
Of course you do.
But they need to go back to being the heel group and causing muck and just making a disaster of everything. They need to stop trying to please everybody. Like Corbin and Cruz coming out and attacking them was great because it keeps everything going on within the tag division. Again, making a focus on the tag division.
I could care less about Corbin, to be fair. And Apollo, I forgot he was even a wrestler in WWE still. I thought he was here with us on Friday Night Review, to be fair.
Right.
You and me both, Hope. Corbin is amazing.
Listen, Cam, I can go back to calling you Ricochet if you really want.
No, God, no.
Why? He'll be showing up on AEW soon.
Yeah, but God, that got out of hand fast. A little joke.
How are we doing tonight?
And blew up way bigger than it needed to.
To be fair, I feel like this run with Corbin right now with Apollo Crews, I feel like this is a massive cool down for what he was doing in NXT. Like, it's not if they're trying to replicate what they did with him and Braun, with him and Crews, nah. It's Corbin was on fire in NXT. Like, he had like a resurgence with Braun. Then to be paired with Apollo Crews on the main roster, nah.
If Corbin's going to make the impact he's going to do, I need him to settle into NXT, Lone Wolf, Black and Gold, bring that heat, you can do it era. Everything past that has been garbage. King Corbin, bum-ass Corbin, Happy Corbin, get the fuck off my screen. Like, you know what I mean? Corbin has the potential to be arguably in a position similar to Gunther. And I truly believe that. There's no reason he shouldn't, given the talent that he has done.
I mean,
he was
fair.
getting somewhere in NXT. He was doing a great job down there, and then they paired him up with Braun Breaker, and they just got over as fuck. Like, unbelievable. They worked very well together. They came up to the main roster. We thought it was going to happen again there. They ended up splitting over the two, and just look at what happened with Braun Breaker, though. This guy's taken off. Corbin was stuck on the side, but this pairing with Apollo Crews has helped research him a little bit. He is starting to get a great fan reaction between the two of them. They had a match before SmackDown tonight, and the person that was in the crowd said the match was amazing, and the crowd was behind them 110%. So I think it is translating to something. We just haven't seen it fully yet, because that crowd popped when they came out and attacked Legato. So he is getting a reaction based off of what he is doing. But we just need to see more of it. He needs to be on TV more. So I think that's where it's going to translate.
Will, it's me. You know, I thought I'd come and talk some wrestling, and
it's me. Up. It's me. It's DDP.
I'm loving these entrances where they walk from the back with them, cutting a promo as they're walking. And I'm hoping that, because DIY did it last week, they did it again this week, and it's just, maybe it's going to be their thing, and that's going to stand them out from the rest. But these promos, and for everybody I was saying the crowd was not behind DIY, that crowd popped when they came out and their music hit tonight. So it completely did a 180 from about a month and a half ago where the crowd wasn't into them. But these crowds, ever since France, I feel like has stepped up their game at the shows. Especially from this past Monday. That crowd was unbelievable in Baltimore. So we need more places like that in
the crowd for Cleveland SmackDown last week was insane too. I was there live, and that crowd.
That's why you were at SmackDown last week.
that crowd was deafening. So yeah.
How was that there?
It was awesome. Number one, I probably got some of the best seats I ever got, because we were like occasionally you'll get anybody who's ever been to a live show, you'll get certain seats where you're like kind of like on a corner, so you're like turned facing the ring. But the seats we were like directly looking at like the ring and the entrance, setup. So it was pretty good seats though. And like I said, the crowd, like when Cody came out, like again, the crowd was just, I've never been a part of the crowd that loud. It was insane.
That's like me at Money in the Bank. I started on that corner spot. I could see the stage perfectly, and I ended up on the floor. Like, I was on the floor right along the entrance. So I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, we saw a shadow on Money in the Bank during the women's match entrance.
Mm-hmm. Trying to touch that, beautiful Chelsea green. Not in a weird way, Sean. Relax.
WWE honored Kevin Sullivan, who passed away earlier today. Our thoughts are with him and his family.
Listen, I'm going to be the asshole here. I don't appreciate that on my TV. That I don't like it. I understand what he's done for professional wrestling. Do not get me wrong. I'm not going to go into it. I'm respecting that this is your guys' show. I'll leave it at that. But I did not respect it on my TV tonight.
I don't know what's that. Nick Aldis.
Sorry to interrupt. Not really. That's my show. Is my screen doing weird shit to you guys too right now?
Yeah, I see. Like the screen,
it's almost like a glitchy bullshit, right?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
It's not just you.
Right. It looks like an NWO video package.
Uncle Howdy's around here somewhere. I don't know.
Next, we had Austin Theory and Grayson Waller in Nick Aldis' office, complaining about how people just ask for a match and they get it. Somehow this turns into Austin Theory saying that Grayson Waller should face off against Kevin Owens, and Nick Aldis is like, well, that's a great idea. Let's make it happen. So we're continuing this little face turn tease for Austin Theory between him and Grayson Waller. I kind of want it to happen Like, I don't want it to drag out much longer. I want to see this happen sooner than later. I think it's gone on way too long.
I mean, unfortunately, I think just with what you've been saying about them highlighting the tag team division and them sort of kind of just reshuffling the cards, I guess, in terms of the tag team division. I don't think they're in a rush to break them up quite yet. We honestly could be seeing this a similar route for them as we see with Cargill and Belair. This could be a Mania thing. Who knows? This could be dragged out till Mania. I don't know.
Sorry for the
True.
audible up there.
Very true. After that segment, next we have the other tag team match.
I want to talk something about Theory. The only thing good about Theory is his selling. That man could sell anything. He's got a good physique. No Diddy. I think you never know what's going to happen on Friday when Shadow shows up. So, anyways, he could sell anything. You put that man on the corner with Girl Scout cookies, he's wiping out that territory. All right? But I'm telling you this. I am bored of him. And Grayson Waller, send him to Collision. I could care less about him. All right, wrong company. Send him to whatever. Whatever is not my TV.
Oh, that would be Collision then.
There you go. We'll trade him for Ricky Starks. Call it even.
That's wild.
No. I wouldn't do that.
No, WWE'd have to give up a little bit more. Send Theory with
no. But we had DIY versus Pretty Deadly. And this is for the chance to fight the Street Profits next week for the number one contendership for the World Tag Team Championship?
I think that's WWE.
They're the World. Raw is the WWE.
No, it's SmackDown, so it's WWE. World is on Raw.
Okay.
It's the same as the champions, right? Like the big timers.
What do we think of this match?
Again, like I said, pretty good match. Once again, like I said, the tag team division is something that's being highlighted. It's something that is they're trying to reconstruct. And I think, like I said, I said it earlier in the program. I think it'd be a good match between DIY and the Street Profits. And my money, like I said, my money's on the Street Profits just because I think they need it more. And like I said, DIY can be put on the back burner for right now. I think they're on the up and up though. As you just said, they went from having no reaction when they came out to a big, decently big pop when they come out now. So yeah, but I do think Street Profits need the win more when they do face off. And yeah, who knows? Maybe the DIY losing the tag team title so soon is what wasn't the plan. Who knows? Maybe plans just changed at the last minute. I don't know. So
I mean, like, I don't really typically agree with Cam on a lot of subjects, but this is like we alluded to earlier in the conversation of the night that I feel the same way when it comes to this. But if you're going to put over a team at a DUI, I was going to say DUI, but I meant DIY. We're not talking the Usos here. DIY. I love Johnny. I love Ciampa. And I mean, I've never hidden that love for either of them. I have their merch. I love them. I think they're great. But it needs to be the Profits. They've almost been completely irrelevant, and it's been irrelevant-ish since Montez had his crowning moment at Elimination Chamber of, I think, 2 years ago now, or last year, whatever it was in Montreal. But that crowning moment for Montez was right there, and the Profits have looked lankish since then. Like, it's not been a what can the Profits do? It's what can Montez do? That's not the mentality of a tag team. And while I know Dawkins supports Montez, let's be real, it needs to change. And they teased a heel turn between them two and never happened. Like there was a lot of here and there. But if we're gonna rebuild the Profits as a strong tag team like they were in NXT in the beginning of their main roster run, you have to do it now. Your reset was this past Saturday, the hard reset, and it showed with all the championship swaps. You need to do it now.
Yeah, well said.
This match was good though. I like how DIY is using the Shatter Machine as their finisher, and I like how they're still calling it the Shatter Machine. Like I feel like that's something that just is different because they normally would come up with a different name for a move from a team that was formerly there and is no longer with the company. Like they wouldn't call it the same name. So that's, to me, that's a little bit ironic. And I wonder if that's a hint as to maybe they eventually will come back to WWE when their contracts are up. I don't know. But I'm curious as to how this match is going to go next week and who's going to win as well. I don't know if DIY is going to beat them. So I want to see this match to see who comes out on top.
Listen, before you get into the next segment, let me say this. If DIY, I'm making sure I slow that down for myself, wins next week, I will reappear on Friday Night Review and talk the biggest shit about Triple H and making that decision. Because, like I said, it needs to be the Profits. You need to pull that trigger.
Okay. So let's talk about the OTC, the head of the table, Mr. Roman Reigns. Shadow, as the OG Tribal Chief Shadow.
Yes, sir.
What was your thoughts on this?
I am loving it. I mean, me and you had a conversation a few hours ago where I said I had heard that there was speculation that we were going to get an enforcer tonight. And I sent you a tweet about 10, 20 minutes ago now, and it's Zilla. And he had posted, a cryptic hourglass. I don't think it has anything to do with anything, but this is what I heard, that Zilla's coming to be the enforcer. It's neither here or there because I don't want to, like the Wyatt Six story, I don't really want to know what's happening. I want to watch it in the moment because it's good storytelling. Now, I thought this was prime Roman. Okay? This man, over 100 days ago, left WWE, arguably the biggest fucking heel in the company. Comes back Sunday to arguably one of the best pops since Austin came back. And I don't think that's even debatable. And comes out tonight with the exact same energy pop, just in a closed arena, which is even louder as hell because that's just bouncing off the roof at that point. Doesn't say a word, beats up everybody, shakes his head at Solo like, I'm coming for you, bitch. Ain't nothing you can do about it. I was expecting Paul to walk out behind Solo at the stage and give him that grimacing look that Paul can do. But I'm excited to see babyface Paul Heyman in the coming weeks because he is gold then too. I also would not want to take a chair shot from Roman. That was brutal. Jesus.
What do you think, Cam?
Great stuff. Great stuff. Two things that I think Shadow said that I'll clear up right now. Not even arguably the biggest heel, the biggest heel in the company, with the biggest storyline and probably the best storyline over the last 3 years or so going, leaves the company, and now you have Cody kind of, I don't want to say taking the torch, but just kind of ushering a new era after such a historic reign from Roman Reigns. Again, like I said, I was there when he came back at SummerSlam. That pop was insane. I like his new theme song. It's not entirely different from his old theme song, but it's a little bit lighter. It doesn't sound so like villainous.
It's a take, yeah.
Yeah. And so it sounds a little bit more lighter, doesn't sound so, villainous. And like I said, I think it's going to be kind of weird to see him as this big baby face. And I think even for him, I think it's going to be kind of new. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love the crowd tonight. Again, once again, another huge pop. Again, this time, as Shadow said, in a closed arena, so it's even louder. And they started chanting OTC, which was very interesting. Like
Well, hold on,
that
stop, one
was
sec. They weren't chanting OTC, they were chanting OTT, buddy. Come on.
okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, they're chanting OTC, which is interesting because nobody really. I mean, this is only the second time we've seen him in that new shirt that he has on. So nobody really like initiated that chant.
Do you mean they didn't have to pipe it in for the crowd to do it, or have it screen across the screen popping up
C-O-C. Oh, sorry, wrong show.
for the crowd to do the chant? Oh no, they didn't, because the crowd just did it on their own,
Yeah.
and it was amazing.
Yeah, so that chant definitely got over organically. So, but no, awesome stuff. I would not mind seeing this match at Bash in Berlin. I don't see why not. I think in the coming weeks, because they got plenty of time. That pay-per-view is not until the end of the month. So I was kind of hoping Shadow would have said this, but not so much Paul Heyman that we would have gotten tonight. I kind of thought, because I saw like the tables start to turn on Roman, and he started getting beat up by the current bloodline. I was kind of thinking that it was possible that they could have left Roman laying, and then we got Jimmy Uso come back and save him. That was what I was kind of thinking. But like I said, in due time, I do think you get that eventually. And like I said, Paul Heyman, in terms of him being a face, it's not really anything different than what he's doing as a heel. People just love him on the mic. They can appreciate the work that he's done. They can appreciate that he's a Hall of Famer now. So it's not anything really different. It's just when you hear him talk, it's the same thing when he was with Brock. They were basically doing this whole like sing along thing because they love when he's saying, "My name is Paul Heyman." They love that stuff. It gets them fired up. So it's the same thing with him and Roman. It doesn't take much for Paul to just tweak it a little bit, and they love him. So
more sympathetic than asshole-ish, right?
Exactly. So and he's, and like I said again, the man deserves probably a freaking Oscar or whatever.
Whatever Academy Award you can give him.
Yeah, because his acting in this has just been golden. So yeah, but I'm definitely hyped to see
he does. Like the last episode that he was there before he got taken out with the shield bomb.
Golden.
He purposely did not sleep the night before.
Yeah.
So he looked all disheveled and everything else. Or the time when Roman was gone for a couple weeks, and his hair was turning gray because he didn't dye it because he wanted to show the effects of worrying about his tribal chief. Like, just what he does to add to the show makes such a huge difference. And when he comes back, he's going to get just as big of a pop as Roman did tonight.
I would have said Jimmy Cam before Scalz goes. I have 2 points I want to make. Would have said Jimmy, but I read recently he is not ready to return just yet. He's still ailing. That injury is still ailing him, and
I heard the opposite. Is that he's ready to go? They're just waiting for the right time in the bloodline storyline to bring him back.
I don't know, man. This is what I'm hearing. I don't know. I'm not the insider. I don't remember the source. The second thing is we officially got an acknowledgement of what, no pun intended there, an acknowledgement of what the OTC is, and is the original tribal chief. It wasn't, I would have rather it been the only tribal chief, but I'll take it.
If you did only, though, it would kind of devalue everything that Solo has done.
I mean, he really hasn't done much,
but I'm just saying, like, it would have devalued everything.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And they're making a big emphasis on the necklace as being for the tribal chief. Like, you saw that tonight. Like, he said, if you want this, come get it. Saying that's why he's the tribal chief, because he now has that. Because Roman left it behind after losing, so he took it over. So I'm interested as to see where this goes when we get the match between the two of them. I'm hoping it's not at Bash. I think that's a little too soon. I think it fits more of the Bad Blood storyline, especially with like the red and black theme between the bloodline. I think it just makes more sense for that to be then as opposed to be at Bash of Berlin. But is there anything else we want to touch on about tonight? Because I feel like we've covered
I got
pretty
one
much
more.
everything.
Give me a second here.
All right, well, Shadow said, "Give him a second. He'll
Sound
be
like you're
back."
down the hallway.
Yeah, I think he walked away, and it's like, "Just give me a second."
Sorry, guys. Something came up over there. I had to take care of it. So my point that I want to make: you say Bad Blood, you say Bash. I don't want any of them to touch other interact like in a match setting until Survivor Series War Games. Between at least Solo and Roman, I don't want them touching until then. You can have little other matches and whatever. Maybe Bash, we see him versus Tongaloa, and then Bad Blood, we see him Tamatanga. You know what I mean? Like, there's ways to build this up. Depending how bad Jacob is actually hurt, maybe Jacob is one of those two. I don't know. I wouldn't really want Jacob and Roman touching either because that's not good. Because of how big Jacob is. But that's my last point that I wanted to make.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I mean, I could honestly see them having a match. I mean, I said Bash and Berlin just because they're striking while the iron's hot. This is like Roman's introduction, not introduction, but his first big match back, and all this hype that they've had with the fans saying that they want Roman, and now the OTC chant tonight. It's just kind of striking while the iron's hot right now, and I don't even think you don't really even need like a definitive ending to that. Really, I mean, it could end in DQ. With like I said, with Solo and the Bloodline getting involved in that match to end that match, and then the rest of the time it could really just be Solo just pretty much ducking Roman until we get to War Games. So,
what if we get like Roman taken out with a vehicle and I did it for Solo? And that's how you introduce Tama Taller or whatever his name is.
Jax is saying that he's like, just fuck it, just do it on a Friday night. He doesn't care. He just wants it to happen.
I mean,
they're not gonna give that away on free TV. That I can definitely say. No, I'm not bringing that up, Shadow.
Fine.
Anything else before we head on out though for the evening?
that's it for me.
Yeah,
Right.
I've said pretty much everything I need to say.
Shadow, where can we find you?
You can catch me this Monday, I believe, is when it drops, with Spotlight with Shadow, where I interview Northland wrestler Jimmy Spite. Great conversation. Was super fun. A lot of knowledge and learning his passion for why he does what he does. In the coming weeks, I have an interview with the Will Gray, which is going to be a great episode. You're not going to want to miss that. Other than that, you can catch my shenanigans and randomly tweeting bullshit and catching every picture I can meme of Sean as possible on Twitter at that guy Shadow or not even dot. It's that guy Shadow 91. And if you want to look at my boring ass TikTok content, it's that guy Shadow 91.
Cam?
Well, you can find me on TikTok at Cam's Wrestling Corner. Call me Cam G, and of course, Cam's Squared Circle Mania. You can find me right here on the network every single Friday night with Friday Night Review after Friday Night Smackdown with some variation of the three people you see on the screen here. You can find me on our sister page on Rivet City Radio every single Monday night with the table spot with the Alpha Wolf Sean and of course Metalcore Mike, and then on Wednesday nights on the Boom. And then I'm on Twitter /X at CamandCheese317. And if all of that greatness does not sizzle your bacon, you can find me on Instagram at 317 Bacon, Eggs, and Cam.
I am Scalz. You can find me here every Friday night on Friday Night Review with Cam and or Shadow and or Jamie right after SmackDown. Also on Tuesdays on NXT on Tap right after NXT. You can also find us on Off the Top Media _ on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you guys, everybody, for stopping by. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and we'll catch y'all soon. Have a great evening.